Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. He is Jamal Lawrence, and I'm Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast.
Yo,
The Indianapolis Colts fall to the Cincinnati Bengals on the road 34-14, which snaps the Colts' 4-game winning streak. So a month of wins didn't really get evaporated or lost, but this is really a damper on our playoff hopes. But let's break it all down, Jamal. I mean, we went down 14-0 and I think it was first or late first, second quarter. Then in a span of 25 seconds, we rallied back, tied it up 14-14. Colts love playing from behind. You know, we got to play from behind. It has to happen. Then the third quarter hit, and every single wheel fell off of this vehicle. Penalties on us were crazy, 9 of them. Felt like anytime we had a great play or a touchdown, it was called back. Jamal was tweeting out of his mind during the game. He said he was ready to see Sam Ehlinger warm up after he witnessed one drive with Gardner Minshew under center. Jamal, let's talk about it. Where do you want to start?
Oh man. So yeah, first thing I want to do, y'all. I just want to go ahead and address the most obvious. I mean, obviously some of those penalties they shouldn't have happened. You know, they were bad calls. But let's be real here. I'm already tired of seeing people saying, "Oh, the refs just had it out for us the entire game." Yo, the refs didn't drop 7 points this game. The Indianapolis Colts offense dropped 7 points this game. So even though there were bad calls, should that block in the back have been called? Yes. Should that holding on Quentin Nelson not been called? Yes. These things, yes, those calls, those were bad calls. But let's not sit here and act like the Indianapolis Colts didn't put up more than 7 points. The scoreboard says 14, but that one came 6 of those points, whatever, came from an interception. So I guess the Colts technically put up 8 points because Michael Pittman Jr. did get that 2-point conversion. So let's just go ahead and nip that in the bud right now. Just because everybody knows, all right, it's obviously not going to be the most happy episode, but the Colts just got dog walked by the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that I thought, I'm sure Eric thought, and I'm sure the rest of Colts Nation thought we had a really good chance of going in and beating the Burrowless Bengals. I mean, we just knew.
Jake Browning. I guess I slept on him. You know, he had a one pretty bad game, then he had one pretty terrific game. I thought we got some film on him. Let's shut him down. But boy, like the Colts offense, I mean, it was like I said, slow start to the game.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 drives were punts. Colts gonna get the run established. I mean, I think that was one thing that really killed us. It limited us to what we had to do on offense. All of our third downs, I felt like were 3rd and longs, so like 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, things like that. That made it much harder to convert. No explosive plays in the air, with the exception of some late ones in the fourth quarter, and that doesn't matter. Offensive line penalties. You were just talking about penalties. I mean, we had 9 penalties as a whole, but this isn't the Cleveland Browns game where we literally got robbed of a game, but there were a lot of questionable calls in this game that really had an impact on, our touchdown. I mean, we had some that were either a touchdown or coming up on one, and they got called back. So look, I'm not going to argue with anyone that says the refs did take the game from us, but I did witness a lot of questionable calls, but that comes with the NFL. That happens in every sport. Too many to count, though, for the offensive line. Again, a lot of questionable ones, but look, Bernard Raymond, I mean, this whole offensive line had a rough day, but Bernard Raymond, I could tell he was struggling over there on that left side. This is one of the games that I can say this Colts offensive line did not play well. The trenches were definitely lost there. So I just think their game plan was, look, we're going to shut down the run. We're going to force Minshew and these receivers to beat us in the air. Didn't happen, obviously.
Yeah, their game plan worked. I mean, it was rough just watching. You know, like I said, the minimal run game there was, 13 rushes for Zach Moss, 28 yards, averaging 2 points.
Non-existent.
Yeah, longest was a 12 yards. So you negate that right there. That would have been 12 for 16. I mean, yeah. So
there were no gaps. That there was nowhere for him to run. He was trying to bounce outside. It was awful. This might have been our worst rushing performance of the year.
Agreed, agreed. And it was one of those situations too where I still feel like a lot of the runs still came at some of the worst times too. Like, why are we gonna now try to run it on 3rd and 10? Or whatever the case is, or 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7. That's irrelevant now. Like, we've tried to throw the ball twice and got nothing out of there. So let's try to just get a few yards before we punt the ball off. At that point, forget it. You might as well just throw it again. I mean, you've already
Right.
done it 2 times. Go ahead and throw it again. Just don't just stay behind, stay in shotgun. Don't even have this empty backfield. Don't have anybody back there with you because we got to throw. We know that we're going to let Minshew throw the ball 40 times every game. So just honor it and just try your best with that. Or keep it running back there to block. I don't know.
And he did end up throwing it about 39 times today. We were playing from behind, so that's going to happen. But 26 of 39 of his passes, 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Gardner Minshew, got to get that weekly Minshew turnover in there.
Absolutely.
Came late in the game, but it happened. This really isn't. Yeah, I'm not going to kill Minshew for that. We know his limitations, and we definitely saw it this game. That interception sucked when I think he threw it at the back of his offensive lineman, and it just popped up. Terrible play. It happens, but this offense as a whole was just
non-existent.
Right. It wasn't there. I know in the second quarter we had that rally. Mo Cox, he came in clutch. He did.
Oh, yeah.
4th and 1, bring in Zaire Franklin. I think they did that the game before too.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And brought him in as a fullback, make them think it's a run, have Mo Cox slip through, go up and get it. Credible gamble. Like, props up to Shane Steichen. As always, he's a genius. And then right after that, we get that pick six, 2-point conversion was successful. Like, everything felt good. Everything felt good going into halftime. And then we didn't score a point. So it was kind of crazy. Michael Pittman, he did his thing, 8 catches, 95 yards, his normal high volume, a lot of catches, a lot of great catches, things like that. Nothing that he's going to, take over the top or anything like that. But other than that, like, a receiving game, I felt like it was non-existent. Really get Josh Downs going, Alec Pierce. I remember one little pass downfield. People were trying to say it was severely underthrown by Minshew. It was a little underthrown.
Yeah.
Like, go route down the sideline, but Pierce had a chance to make a play on the ball. It was good coverage by the defender. So that sucked. That could have really sparked us. Couple drops here and there by the receiver. It was just a terrible game by this offense as a whole. I can't really say anything good about this offense, really, except Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I mean, I can just co-sign that. I can't say anything positive either. It was just all ugly across the board. Yeah, I mean, it just was bad. So again, 8 points put up by the offense. There's not much more you can say besides that. If that's not a true indication of how it was, we can read you the stat line again. But the stat lines they coincide right with the 8 points the offense put up. So
and this was, oh man, this is not a game we wanted to lose. Of course, we'd love to win out, but this actually kicks us out of the playoffs currently. We're 8th seed. I don't think that's subject to change right now. I think the Browns could lose, but they'll still be ahead of us. I don't know what's happening with that game right now, but this even makes the game next week more crucial because we play the Steelers, and they're sitting at 6th seed right now. A lot going on in this AFC wildcard race, but we'll talk about that later on, just giving you guys an update. What about this defense, Jamal? What happened here?
So the defense, man, I think the biggest thing that happened here, something that that's really stood out to me, was this defensive line. They didn't get 6 sacks. They didn't get 5. They didn't get 4. They didn't get 3. They didn't get 2. They didn't get 1. They got 0 sacks this game. 0. We talked just last episode about how dominant this defensive line has been, averaging 3 or 4 sacks a game, whatever case, how that tempo has just completely changed in the quarterback space every single play. and they laid an egg today. And again, I mean that's not all just saying that the defense wasn't pressuring there. I feel like the Bengals offensive line played well for what it was worth.
Oh yeah.
They did a good job of getting rid of the ball when their pressure was on, because like Tyquan Lewis almost had a great sack when they were pushed back in the end zone, but they got the ball off right before he could get there. So it was situations like that. But I think that truly stands out to me is where we put up a 0 piece on the board for that. The pressure wasn't there, and it showed.
It was really weird. Like, I saw a lot of big runs, like, 10-plus-yard runs by Joe Mixon. I think
Mhm.
Chase Brown, he had some big catches, of course, with the screenplays. But really, like, Browning, he threw for 275. He only had to throw it 24 times. Like, they were really just trying to eat up with the run game,
Mhm.
and it kind of worked. And what also killed us was the short passing game. That was killing us today. We weren't getting to the quarterback at all, like you said, Jamal. Run defense was weak in some parts. I noticed this. So every time Grover Stewart came off the field, they would run that thing up the middle. They
Yep.
knew
Yep.
Grover Stewart was a great run stopper. So that's one thing I noticed. But yeah, it just this defense got pretty killed today. Even the corners, they looked like rookies today. Of course, they
Yeah.
are rookies. Like Jalen Jones, but T. Higgins kind of ate on a lot of things.
Mhm.
We limited Jamar Chase to not big yardage. I think he only had 29 yards, but on some catches he did have, it looked really easy. But again, the screenplays just absolutely killed us. Like, Chase Brown was their leading receiver. That's a running back,
Yeah.
guys, at Illinois. T. Higgins getting that 46-yard pass. Joe Mixon getting a 45-yard pass. It just
Mhm.
those little short passes, we could not stop a screen to save our life. That really killed us. Plus, I think, what was it, the beginning? Might have been second quarter, but two big penalties really stopped us there. When the Bengals scored their second touchdown, it
Mhm.
was that Taven Bryan, that leverage call,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
they could have just walked away with a field goal instead. That gave them first down. Then we had a defensive holding
Yep.
on
They got like
Jalen
8
Jones.
plays.
Yeah, a series of unfortunate events. So, like, I mean, you could say that about a lot of parts of this game. It was just like, we were about to convert a first down. Nope, false or holding, something like
Mhm.
that. It was just just garbage. And really, the only bright side about this defense, like, that I saw, like, Zaire Franklin.
Yeah,
Did
he
you
makes it.
see him lay that man out?
Yes, yes.
I
And
thought
that
I thought they called a penalty on him.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought they did that first too, but that just to tie that in with Grover, that goes exactly what you were just talking about. When Grover was in, they had to double team him because they were so focused on him. Zaire was able to shoot that gap and
Shoot
just
that
make a
gap.
mean tackle, mean tackle.
Yeah, he grabbed about 14 tackles today.
Mhm.
Old Zaire, we said last game, oh, we didn't really see Zaire a lot, tackling everything, but everyone can't go godlike, every single game.
Right.
So Franklin came in, did his thing today. For what it's worth, we gave up 34 points.
Yeah.
Um, but really, like, no one had a really standout game. I know Rodney Harrison Jr. had that incredible pick six.
Yeah.
Um, that was pretty unlucky on Jake Browning's part because the receiver tried to catch it with one hand. It popped up a little
Mhm.
bit, gave Ronnie Harrison Jr. That pick six. But I love that play. That's how you earn a permanent role on the squad. I know EJ Speed was out today, but still, that was awesome. But one of the other Achilles heels for the Colts today was the special
Special
team.
teams, yeah. Boy,
What
was it?
happened, man?
Matt Gay, I don't man, he was not in his bag today. My man, he left it all
He left it
back in
everything.
Indy or
Yeah.
Texas, wherever he was last week. After the Indy game, I don't know what happened, but extra point missed, field goal missed. Isaiah McKenzie fumbling it on the punt return. I mean, it was just ugly.
Well, they need to cut Amir's speed for backing up into
Yeah,
Isaiah
yeah,
McKenzie on a fair catch. I just don't know why he was there in the first place. Like, just let the guy catch the ball so we can try to eat up this 14-point deficit, I think it was. Yeah. And that kind of sealed the game in my
Mhm.
eyes. The Bengals got perfect field position to get them up 3 scores. that was really the changing point in the game where I said, "It's over.
Yeah.
We're not coming back from this." And they played it safe and they got their field goal. So, all in all, man, this really just it kills what we had, the momentum we had, trying to make a playoff push with the guys we have, especially with Anthony Richardson going down and things like that. It really kills this playoff momentum run, and I don't know what we're gonna do from here. I know we were limited of what we can do, but it felt golden, Jamal, like just a week ago.
He caught a body about a week ago. Yeah. I mean, at this point, all the Colts can continue to do is to just keep. You got to keep winning at this point. I mean, it's again. I'll be the first person to tell you, like I said even earlier on when kind of before we even got serious about the playoff talks, and I was saying, you know, we're getting to that awkward point where you continue to win, and then you realize that you're going to be drafted at a certain point, you know, at the 16, 17, 18, you know, 19 spot, whatever. And people are like, well, I'd rather have that and to get to a wild card spot than, you know, be at the 10 or whatever the case is. We got to keep that same energy then. Obviously, if we feel like if those playoff hopes are dwindling down, you know, let's say next week we lose to the Steelers. You're 7-7. Then at that point, you still got 3 more games left. You know, whatever the case is, you got to go out and win those games. I mean, at this point, because you're in a super awkward spot. So you can't retract what you said before. You got to continue to just play and continue to try to get better. I don't know. I mean, because I just got a feeling there's going to be a lot of voices. There'll be a lot of voices if we were to lose next week to the Steelers, and we're in a position where we're kind of out of the playoffs. You may start hitting those whispers of, well, we should just lose all the rest of the games. Don't keep that energy, y'all. Keep the same energy it was before we got to this point.
Nah, we need to keep winning. I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
that same
absolutely.
energy.
Absolutely.
I'm not even thinking about the NFL draft right now. I mean, we could lose out, and then I'll start thinking about it. But until it says 0% for the Indianapolis Colts to make the playoffs, I still think we have a chance. The Jacksonville
Absolutely.
Jaguars, they look like they're about to lose today. They're down 10 points with 1:55 to go. I'm sure everyone's watching that right now. Look, the AFC South, I mean, even with the
Rough day.
Jaguars and Texans losing, yeah, they had a rough day. But again, it's technically still open. So since the AFC South all lost today, minus the Titans, but nobody's worried about them. Look, there's still hope. So this game sucked. A lot of blunders that happen, including referee calls, things like that. But hey, we got to just put it in the past and worry about next week. See if we can beat the Steelers on what we play on a Saturday.
Saturday at like 4:05 or something like that.
4:30 p.m.
Yeah.
on a
Oh, there you go.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Whew.
But
Week
nah,
is over.
you're right though, man. That's one thing I will say though. Like obviously, it sucks to have that win streak over, but if you're gonna take that L, just go ahead and get it out the way now. You know that feeling. You don't want to have that feeling again. So now you can bounce back on a short week, and get into the lab. You know, get some rest, and then get into the lab, watch some film, figure out what's going on to get ready for the Steelers because you gotta continue to play it at a high level. At a high level, no matter what the case is, you got to stay competitive.
Yeah, because we're like anybody who wants to tank now. I mean, we are out of the Marvin Harrison Jr.
Absolutely.
sweepstakes. So that is out. Any highly touted defenders or defensive pieces probably out the gate now. I mean, there's still going to be a lot of lovely pieces to draft,
Oh, for
but
sure.
I'm just saying, once you go down in the 20s, like if we make the play, let's not even worry about the draft right now. We are still in a position to make the playoffs. Let's talk playoffs. Let's talk about how we can win against the Steelers next week.
Yes.
How we can beat the Falcons, like things like that. That's what we need to do because we are still in this thing. So
absolutely.
Hey, that's all I got, Jamal.
That's all for me today, dog.
Whew. That was a tough episode for us. I was expecting to win. Very, very big swing after halftime, but hey, we'll be all right. I got my cup right here, my poison.
There you go. Always keep it with you handy.
Drink responsibly, everyone.
Absolutely.
I got some cognac right there. Hey, that's gonna be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast today. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take care.